So I've just been listening to a podcast and kind of practicing mindlessly-ish, practicing some guitar stuff. And I happened across this thing that came across my desk a while ago to speak in a way that I wouldn't normally speak. But this, for me, Joseph Anjadar, a Canadian guitarist, I think the first time I saw this and really connected with it was from him. But Tosin Abasi, I think, would be the guy that Joseph got this from. And it's a technique called selective picking. Now, I think Josh Meader also does a bit of this. Ben Eller, I think, has done a bit of a lesson on this, but it's a relatively new-ish technique. And what we're really thinking about is that we hammer on a note from nowhere before picking. So you get this kind of thing. So if I play a C here, and then pick a C. When you see it like that, it doesn't sound like much of anything, but that's the basic gist of it. So you hammer on your note from nowhere, and then you pick your note, generally with a downstroke. Where it becomes interesting for me is when you start to think about arpeggios in this way, and this is not really something that I've seen, as far as I'm aware. Rick Graham might have done something on this, I'm not totally sure, but what I was thinking is, what if we used this as a technique to take us through the arpeggios? So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to start with my root here on the A string, and then the kind of plan will be to play 2 notes per string, so we get this. Yeah? Which has a coolish sound. What if we then kind of took the idea that we're going to have a hammer, a down, and then an up per note? So this is new to me, but if you have kind of mute a bit, right, so that's kind of got a cool sound. If we can go up through the scale, to like D minor, remembering there that I said 1 note on our A string, then 2 notes per string thereafter. It really helps to have a system in place when you think about these arpeggios, I find. Then through the scale, keep going, we get to F. To G. To A minor. Hey! To our diminished chord, or -7 flat 5, I think. And then we're back to the start. And I think that's got a fairly interesting kind of potential and quite an interesting sound. So just again, if we take our C major, here's the idea. So we're going to pick at the 3rd fret, the C, then we want our 3rd degree of the scale, which we can find on the D string at the 2nd fret, right? And then our 5th degree of the scale, the G, we can find here on the 5th fret on the D string. On degree 1 of the scale, we build a major 7 chord. So we find our major 7 here at the 4th fret on the G string. And then our C again, so repeat 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1, 3, 5, 7, 1. So 8th fret, 7th fret, 8th fret, 5th fret, 5th fret, 4th fret, 5th fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret. You could also just take them in this kind of way and turn that into a minor in place, so you know that that will necessarily mean a minor 3rd, right? If we keep the major 7 as well, we'll have a minor major 7. Have the minor 7. But yeah, that's kind of what I've been playing around with. So the next step, obviously, kind of, I don't know where I'm going to go with this in the end, but it's just something that I'm just practicing at the moment, just to get this idea. And what I was instantly finding was that instead of thinking about your first note when you play a phrase as having to be picked, you can use this kind of idea. You know, that this first note can be hammered on from nowhere. And just practicing this may lead to some new phrasing. It's a new idea to me, so I'm not really there with it yet. But the next thing that I would do beyond this would be to take inversions through the scale. So we started with a C. So if we do first inversions through the scale, you get this kind of thing. So start on a 3rd. Or like this. And we want to keep the same 1, 2, 2, 2, 2. Then next one, D minor. E minor. F major. Where are we at? Yeah. Sorry. G major. A minor. Yeah. and then the 7th degree. So, you know, that's the what I'm going to spend some more time practicing now. I'll put together a sheet for you guys on Patreon if you want it, but that's... The cool thing about it is that if you don't play that first note, you do kind of hear it because you get that. So make sure you're kind of trying to be clean with the hammer on. So like I missed that one. It will also help to solve the lazy first finger that Tom Quayle has talked about before. Because you'll know, because you don't have the benefit of a pull-off or a pick note to actually rely on. So hopefully that was vaguely interesting. As I say, you're kind of trying to make sure that your first note and your pick note are at the same kind of velocity. But I think it's got a really kind of weird, interesting sound. Catch you in another video soon, and thank you for stopping by.